Now, our reporter Chris Glover was covering that story for us yesterday. And during a live hit at a comedy bar on our separate hour newscast, he was accosted by a bystander. Now, online video of that incident has brought in a lot of comments, with many people condemning it as assault. Farah Morali has more on what happened and the fallout.
And you can see just by the fact that there's standing room only at this event, this town.
A live television hit is part of what reporter Chris Glover does routinely. But last night's segment inside the comedy bar was anything but routine.
Some person came up behind me, and first thing I noticed was the smell of his breath. And there was a lot of alcohol on his breath.
As Glover was live on the 6 o'clock news, this man in the green shirt circled him and moved in closer.
I could feel something on the back of my neck and on the back of my head. And at that minute, I kind of looked behind me. You see in the video, you look behind me, and I didn't really know what it was or what had happened. Looking back, I know that it was his tongue and he was licking me. And then he kind of moved around and started to nibble, lick, kiss my ear and my neck.
It's not the first time a reporter has been accosted on live television.
People having a great time here. In
fact, it's far from it.
The ACL.
From yelling profane messages to physical touching, reporters have been subject to various forms of harassment.
I feel as a journalist, when you're in front of a camera, in front of a live camera, you're in a vulnerable position. I think that it's easy to sit back and think, I would have. But until you're in that moment, I don't think you're really able to know what you would do, because you're just in the moment trying to react in this vulnerable state.
Last night's incident has now gone viral after a clip was posted on Twitter. It's now been viewed more than 300,000 times. The man in the green shirt has been identified as Boyd Banks, a local actor and stand-up comedian. Glover was at the comedy club working on a story about the concerns many Canadian comedians have had about the takeover of a satellite radio station. One by one, comedians weighed in on Twitter to slam the incident, some calling it outright assault.
And then when I turned it on and saw that, I started bawling, you know? I felt so bad. I felt like the actions of one individual is not what we all represent.
Michelle Shaughnessy says the stand-up community is unilaterally condemning what happened.
Not only did he take away from our message that we've spent the past week putting our heart and soul into, but you know, he harassed somebody, and that's not okay.
Now, late this afternoon, Farah managed to reach Boyd Banks, the comedian in question, by telephone. Here's a clip of that conversation.
I apologize for my behavior. Your reporter is a fantastic reporter, and I let down the comedy community in Toronto. I let down so many friends, and I let down a lot of people, and it's all my fault. It's absolutely my fault, and I deserve whatever is happening to me.
And one final note on this story, we can tell you that Chris has filed a complaint to Toronto Police, so it's now up to them to decide whether to proceed with an investigation.